Hi, welcome to our course. I'm Jing. In our first unit, I will introduce you the water imagery. Water is the basic and most important natural resources for man. Great civilizations were all born along the rivers and oceans. For several thousand years before the Common Era, Chinese civilization was born from the Yellow River, the Tigris and the Euphrates, the Nile, the Ganges, and the Aegean Sea are cradles of Babylonia, Egypt, Indian, and ancient Greek civilizations, respectively. The ancestors of human beings tilled and irrigated the land by water and built homes to live in. Generation after generation, they created a time-honored history and profound civilizations. The mighty rivers and oceans have nourished and enriched diverse and colorful civilization. All across the world, we are closely connected by the rivers and oceans and share a natural bond of affinity. In our first unit, we'll introduce you the imagery of water. Water is a common symbolic image in Chinese culture. Chinese philosophers use water to symbolize virtue. In Chinese literature, water is often used to symbolize the passage of time, and is also used to symbolize missing and admiration. Besides, the composite image, composed of water and fish, often symbolizes the relationship between husband and wife, and monarchs and officials. I will talk about symbolic meaning of water imagery from these four aspects. First, symbol of great virtue. Second, symbol of transient time. The third, symbol of love and missing. The fourth, symbol of purifying soul. So in our first episode, we'll talk about great virtue is like water. Water is the perfect substance according to Taoism, the school of philosophy parallel to Confucianism in ancient China. The thought of Laozi formed the foundation of Taoism, the most influential indigenous school of religion in China. China's famous contemporary writer and literary critic Lu Xun once said, "China roots deep in Taoism. If one wants to comprehend Chinese history and culture, one must comprehend Taoism first." So the founder of Taoism was philosopher Laozi. According to Chinese tradition, Laozi lived in the 4th century BC, which was the period of 100 schools of thoughts and spring and autumn period. His real name was Li Er. He worked as an archivist in the imperial library of Zhou dynasty. It is widely believed that he was the author of the Taoist scripture Laozi, also known as Dao De Jing, roughly translated as the classics of the ways and its virtue. Slightly more than 5,000 characters, this book is considered as one of the most influential texts on Chinese philosophy and religion. In Dao De Jing, many of Laozi's enlightening views are based on his philosophy of naturalism. We call it 自然主义 and non-action, 无为. So naturalists refers to a natural state of being, an attitude of following the way of nature. Laozi emphasizes that everything in the world has its own way of being. For example, birds fly in the sky, water flows down hills, flowers bloom and fade. He admonishes people to give up any desire to control the world. So non-action, 无为, means Dao, or the way acts through non-action. It doesn't mean that one should not do nothing and passively wait for something to be achieved. Neither does he deny human creativity. What he meant is that human enterprises should be built on the base of naturalness, not on any attempts to interrupt the rhythm of nature. So, in chapter 8, of 道德经, Laozi says, 上善若水，水利万物而不争，处众人之所恶，故几与道。The highest good is like water. Water benefits everything by giving without taking or contending. It takes place others dislike, so it follows the divine law. 居善地，心善渊，于善人，言善信，正善治，事善能，动善时，夫为不争，故无忧。The place should be low, the mind broad, the gifts kind, the speech trustworthy, the rule sound, the deed well done, the action timely. Without contention, a man is blameless. According to Laozi, water always seeks the lowest point and takes the shape of any vessel into which it is poured. Water always flows down here. It always flows around any obstacle. So the great virtue of man should be like water. In chapter 7 and 8, Laozi mentioned again the strong point of water. 天下莫柔弱于水，而攻坚强者握之能胜，以其无以易之，柔之胜刚，弱之胜强，天下莫不知，而莫能行。There is nothing weaker than water, but none is superior to it in overcoming the heart, for which there is no substitute. That weakness overcomes strength, and gentleness overcomes rigidity. No one does not know, no one can put into practice. Water seems to be the weakest substance, but it's really the strongest. A steady drip of water can wear away a rock. A stream can create a canyon, and water in the form of a hurricane or typhoon can erode the very continuous way. The understanding of the rule of softness and strength reflects Laozi's dialectical thinking and can enlighten people with wisdom. So the philosophy of Taoism has exerted a direct impact on the characteristics, trends of souls, and aesthetic sensibilities of the Chinese nation. Today, Laozi still plays a role in the development of Chinese thinking.